Hi again, it's Nick Zarro, and I'm here with Doug Tucker from the Doug Tucker Real Estate Team. And this week, he's going to speak about the positives he's been seeing in the market, and more specifically for sellers, what are the most influential factors in today's market? Hey, Doug.
Hey Nick, good to be here. One of the things that I have to say is that the market is much better than I expected it would be at this point. Um, Really, for sellers, it may actually be turning out to be a positive thing. Um, the last three properties that we listed over the past 2 weeks since we last sent out a video are already under contract. So if you're pricing your home right, preparing it the right way, and you have the right marketing plan, we're having really good success. And what's driving that primarily is the lack of inventory. And that's the one thing that has influenced the market as far as the pandemic is concerned. When this crisis hit, a lot of sellers pulled out of the market, and very few new sellers came onto the market. So the remaining sellers that are coming on the market or were already in the market, for the most part, are having really good success. There's some pockets where it's less active and still more challenging, but overall, it's very good.
So, are you starting to see activity increase? Are you getting buyer inquiries? Are you going on listing appointments? Are people starting to change their mentality in any way?
Yeah, I would say all of the above. We are definitely starting to see more buyer activity. So we're getting a fair amount of inquiries from buyers on our buyer lead generation platform, New Jersey, njrealestatetoday.com. That website, we're able to monitor buyer activity, and we've seen an increase in buyer activity on the website. And then that is translated into actually more phone calls, email inquiries from buyers. So buyer activity is definitely picked up. And on the sell side, we still have that limited supply, but I am starting to see that loosen up some, and getting more inquiries from sellers about how's the market, is now a good time to sell. Basically, I'm telling them the same thing that I'm sharing here today, is that actually it might turn out to be a very good time to sell.
Good to hear. All right. Okay. So you mentioned that you had 3 homes since the last video that you put onto the market, and they are already under contract. What is it about those homes that are causing them to sell quickly?
Good question. I think there's primarily 3 things that influence the success rate. 2 of them apply under any market conditions, right? Whether we have this, this crisis that we're dealing with now, or more normal times, and that's, the way the property shows, making sure it's prepared the right way. And today, it's even more important to show well in pictures, right, and video, because a lot of the home search today is going to be done online and with virtual tools. So making sure that the house is prepared so it's going to photograph really well. And then when you do have in-person showings, it's going to show really well. That's always critically important. The other thing is always price, right? The asking price. Making sure that you have the right asking price. Mostly that just breaks down to the fact that if you have the wrong price, all the marketing in the world isn't going to be successful, because you're reaching the wrong buyers. Your marketing is reaching the wrong buyers. And if your marketing is not reaching the right buyers, then you're not going to have success. You have to meet buyer expectations. So if you've got your price set too high, buyers at that price point are going to look at your property and conclude that your house doesn't meet the expectations, what kind of features they expect to be able to get at that price point. So pricing, as always, is also super critical. But the other component, the one thing that's different today, is making sure that you have the right marketing plan. and it really has to be virtually based today. So probably over the first 30 days of the shutdown, we scrambled around to basically build our business from scratch, start over. How do we move forward given the current environment that we're in? And for us, it was about going virtual. And so now we're doing virtual grand open events instead of in-person grand opening events. We're doing virtual ongoing open houses instead of in-person open houses. And some of our showings are virtual showings, where we're walking the buyers room by room through a house and around the property, just as if we were there, but on the computer. And this just allows us to reach far more buyers. There are buyers that are still, not comfortable going out and going into every house. They want to find out more ahead of time before they make that decision to go in. And it works out really well for everybody, for us, the buyer, for the seller. So if we're representing a seller, the people that are actually going through the house in person are much better qualified today. And there's a much higher probability that it's a serious buyer who will want to buy the house. So if you're not using those virtual tools, you don't have those capabilities in this market, then that's a significant detriment. But basically those three things: it's about price, it's about preparing the right way, and it's about marketing the right way. And if you do those three things, I believe in this market, excluding some pockets where the market is much more challenging, but very few, I believe that if you do those three things, your house should be under contract in 30 days, in 90% of the cases, and certainly no more than 60.
That is all very interesting, Doug. Do you have anything else to add to that, or is that it for today?
No, I would just say that, our goal with these videos is to keep people up to date as to what's happening in the market. It's a very fluid situation. We'll be sending out another one in 2 weeks. Things may be very different by then. I don't know. But all I can say is right now, things are much better than we anticipated they would be at this point. And I'm optimistic that they will continue this way for some time.
As am I. But I suppose that for this week, we can wrap it up. And if anybody has any questions about this topic that Doug went over, buying, selling, anything at all, just feel free to reach out to the Doug Tucker team. And we'll be seeing everybody in 2 weeks.
Sounds good.